everyone, it's Sally with the Polka Dot Life. I am so happy to be here with you today. I am so glad that you've taken some time to stop by my channel and watch my video today. Hopefully you will find some inspiration. This is a little late in coming. Well, it's a lot late in coming, but I have several cards for Halloween to show you. And I thought that we could do that together. I like the projects that I made, so I wanted to share them. I thought you might have these Stampin' Up products at home, or you could take some different things that you already have at home and translate it into something that you'll see here today. So I have several card examples to show you. I have product to show you, and then at the end of that, we will make a quick card together. I hope that you enjoy today's project, and let's get started. First of all, I wanted to bring your attention to an offer that Stampin' Up has right now. It's a really good deal. You can join our family of crafters, and that does not mean you ever have to sell anything. You don't have to do videos, anything like that. You can if you choose to, and I would be here to support you through that. But most of our people are what we call hobby demonstrators, and they are just really, it's just happy discount shoppers. You get an immediate 20% discount off of your purchases, and then you can earn things further from there. So it is only $35 to join, which is normally $99 for, I think, $125 worth of products, I think is what the normal one is. But for right now, you can join for just $35. And you pick. This is not a prepackaged kit. I have worked with other direct sales companies in the past, and it was just a pre-box kit. You got what you got. These are the things that you want, that you enjoy. Maybe you just are going to place an order to make Christmas cards for your family. Well, that adds up pretty quickly. So for $35, you could get $125 worth of product that you choose, that you want. And or you could, if you're going to be needing more, then you pay $99 and you get $189 worth of products. This will qualify you, let's see here, October, November. Okay, that would make you get that first quarter without having to place an additional order. That's just to start with. So that means that technically you would not need to stay active. You would not have to order anything until March and then even April, because you get a pending month. So that's a really, really great deal to just kind of even test drive Stampin' Up and see if it's something that you would enjoy. It would be a great way to start a new hobby, or like you say, you can start a new business. I just love the people the most, and the inspiration and the ideas, the camaraderie. It's just a lot of fun. And I wanted to bring this to your attention. Now, I am not trying to convince you of something that you don't want to do, but if it's something that you've considered, or you just, like I say, you just want to get the discount, you don't ever have to order again if you don't want to. And you can come back to be my customer, and I would just be super happy about that too. So I want you to do what would make your heart happy, but I'm just telling you, it is a great way, especially with this $35 offer, to go ahead and try Stampin' Up and see if it's something that you enjoy. And then you can just go back to being a customer if you decide otherwise. But this expires October 31st, so I just wanted to bring that to your attention quickly. Here we have the Spooky Halloween bundle, and it is just super sweet. It has the dog and a cat for the main images, and there are several fun dies. You have dies to cut out the two main images, the broom, the little pail. This is a really cute tag, and this haunted house. It's really, really fun to play with. Now, we didn't have a lot of offering for Halloween. I give you that. But the things that we have were really cute. And I just kind of lumped them all together and just started playing. So it's a hodgepodge that I have going on. This bundle is called the Fright Night Bundle. And it is the dies and these stamps here. And you have the dies that cut out these large shapes. And then there are some sentiments and just some little background stamp here. But it has a spider webs, Boo and Eek, and it's just a lot of fun to play with too. This is the Sweet Halloween stamp set, and I think it's more geared for scrapbooking, but I really enjoyed using the candy cane, the vulture, I'm guessing that is, or crow, and some of the sentiments I thought were really, really sweet. And this is just always a nice die to have if you don't like writing, you don't think you ever get it straight, whatever. You could use this on cards as well as scrapbook pages. And then I brought in the So Swirly embossing folder today. In the Spooky Sweet collection, there is this petunia pop ribbon that is really fun. It's got a little iridescent shimmer to it, and I use that on several projects too. There are some treat bags, and I did purchase them, but I cannot find them. We've had some home renovations going on, and it was even a while ago, but we've been traveling, and we had to take everything from the second story of our home to the first because we got new flooring, and it's just getting things. I'm not putting things back without purging first. So there you go. This is the Spooky Sweet Designer Series paper, and I see that my mouth is a little bit close up today, but you can get the gist of what all is in here. But there are several die cut images. I split this pack in half, and I still have a ton left, and I made a lot of cards. So I just went ahead and punched all of these things out or die cut different things, and I just put them in a little dish here, and then I would just go through and pick what I needed as I needed it. This piece you could hand cut, fussy cut we call it. Several of these images here, they're a lot of fun. Now this one and another one, we have some images. Actually these two. Let's just go ahead and kind of pull these out here. And there are like little scene builder punches or little scene builder pieces here on this designer series paper. So you just put this in your trimmer and you line up this part or, you know, these parts with your cutting blade, where that little track, and then you cut them all apart if you decide that's what you want to do. Now, this one you can leave with this top half for different scenes, or you could cut this off. That's what I did, and I think this would be a great piece for on a scrapbooking page. This piece has different banners and different tag elements on this side. And then we have a fun candy print and then a little spooky house situation. But these B-sides are really pretty too. And they're great, even for not Halloween, they would be great background pieces. This one's fun. It's just trying to decide which side you want to use. Now these punch out sides, they're just one side. It's not a double-sided thing. So I just wanted to give you a look at that paper close up. Most of my cards have matching envelopes, but I have a few I think that I still need to make, but I always try to do that. I think it makes it a little happier. So I choose to cut these scenes apart on that one sheet, and that's where I started. And I just tried to vary them up a little bit. I put that tag on here and Too Cute to Spook in one of these little fussy cut images. And this is one of the die cut images, and this is one that I did and die cut out. I stamped it, but this is straight from the paper. And I did that in this orientation, and I used one of those banners on the inside of that. You can just pull in from whatever you have. That paper is just really fun. Here is Don't Worry, Eat Sweets. And I actually cut this tree in half just to not waste it and fill it in here a little bit more. Did some background stamping. And here for the candy, I just mashed up all of these different sets. Now this one was a little bit, this one's a little bit different. It's a little thinner. So I used that swirly embossing folder
and put that on the background. I popped this up to give it a little dimension. We used a ribbon on this card, some punch outs, and some things that I stamped. And now that one I didn't put anything in the inside, but I did the envelope. I love that little candy corn. I tried to get in tune with a little darker side. Like I say, that's not really my vibe. I like cutesy Halloween, but I have a few friends who enjoy the little darker, edgier Halloween, and so I made a few cards that I'll be sending to them. And so these are just all those die cuts. And then I stamped on the inside and put the word spooky in there. This one I used the crow or vulture. I'm not sure exactly what it is. I'm guessing a crow. Don't worry, eat sweets. And oh, that one opens this way. And these are some of the new labels that go. I think these ones go with the real traditional that Christmas, and it's got the red and the secret C, and it's the label set from that. The name is escaping me right now, but it has been really popular and it's sold out. But I used it on several of these cards too. See, these cards don't have to be really elaborate to be cute. I just did some ink blending around the edges. And all tricks, no treats. So it gives you a few ideas of what to do on the inside of your card. Now this one used I had some retired paper, but you know, we all have retired paper that we don't know what to do with. This is just a really simple layout. It works with any stamp set that would fit in these parameters, but you could change up the size of that layer or those layers to make it work for you. But this lavender, this Highland Heather, is retired, and so I just thought it made a fun little card. Now I didn't put anything on the inside of that, but I was just using up some of my scrap little things that I had around. This is a little fun fold card. Too cute to spook. And I'll have to do this on with another set. I thought that was kind of cute, just that little pull out. I will probably give that one to my grandson. I had a lot of fun doing this one. Even this is a little, more on that spooky side. I thought that it still was lighthearted, and I just thought it was kind of fun to do this ink blending. And you just want to ink blend up. You kind of want to maybe put this down and underneath put a little pencil mark about where you want it to stop, just so you have an idea, a little roadmap. And that's what I did there. And happy Halloween. But it was a lot of fun. Now I told y'all that I love the candy corn, and so this one I had a lot of fun. I made this background stamp here, or just this background by stamping and coloring with my Stampin' Blend markers. This is one of those tags that I stamped and cut out. Oh, these were the foam stars. It came with some foam stars. They were purple, black, and white were the colors in that. And then Don't Worry, Eat Sweets. I did on the inside of that one. I think a few of these on those cutout images, I also used some Wink of Stella, especially the girly ones. This was another one with just the punch outs here. I just spaced them evenly. I die cut the word eek and a spider and made his little web coming down here. I stamped this before I embossed it. And then eat, drink, and be scary. And that brings us to the card that we are going to make together. I thought it was a little bit different. And it brings in even another set of products. These are the Party Alphabet dies, and they are large. They were originally intended for scrapbooking, but they make great things to go along with banners and cards and just all kind of fun little things. You can put an initial on something or a word. It just makes it a little more personalized. And I went ahead and prepped a few things ahead of time, but we will do just the tiniest bit of stamping. I took the bats from the Spooky Halloween set. And this is an envelope, a medium envelope. And I just did a little section of these right in the corner. Easy peasy. I have a piece of basic white cardstock. This is not the thick, this is the regular. And I just kind of guesstimated. It is 3 by 8.5. And it's probably overkill and a little bit more than we need. But I wanted to go ahead and start with this. I'd rather have too much than too little in this situation. I'm going to use pumpkin pie and Daffodil Delight. And I have some of our blending brushes. I don't clean our blending brushes. I have yellow and I have orange. I just kind of have them for the basic categories. I am going to just give it a little swirl though, so that if it has a different, you know, tone of yellow, I would get it out of there. So it will all blend together nicely. It won't be a problem. I went ahead and marked these pieces. You don't need to do this, but if it helps you to have a little bit of a roadmap, the first couple tries I had at making these letters, I did them too thick and I didn't get that striped effect that I wanted to get. So I just marked it that way. And you want to start off just so you don't, you know, get big glumpy globs of yellow, but just kind of figure out how that stripe is going to happen. And if you're going to go over, I would suggest you do maybe a little bit more of the yellow of the Daffodil Delight than the pumpkin pie. And I think I did pumpkin pie. It could have been Timid Tiger. That would be another great choice. And if you say you don't have Daffodil Delight, you could use Lemon Lolly or Crushed Curry if that's what you have. When you do these with the blending brushes, they're generally so nice and soft that it doesn't really matter. If you went real heavy-handed on it, you would be able to tell. But if you're just keeping a light touch, but you do you, if you like them very bold, then do it that way. And then I'm just going to take this across to where this other line is, just to kind of get my lay of the land here. Like I say, it doesn't really matter, and you certainly do not have to do it the same way. This is just if you're, especially if you're new and you haven't done a lot of ink blending or things like that for die cutting, it's just a good place to start. And you can adjust how you put your dies on for the yellow or the white. You can't so much do that with the orange. So you want to have enough. I may do a little bit more, a little bit above that, not too much, but just a little bit, as we're laying that orange down and getting that pumpkin pie layer. I kind of like it. I don't want it too dark, but I like enough of it that it really pops out. And then I'm going to even take a little bit, because you want this line to blend together. So you can even take this yellow up into there. So I like that. I think I am going to kind of keep that as is. Put my ink pads away before I stick my finger in them. And then I am just going to pull out my dies, and I keep them on these magnet cards from Stampin' Storage. And you just want to look to make sure that you're hitting all three of those areas. And let's see, let's grab the O. I feel like it kind of has a top and a bottom. I feel this one side is a little bit, this is a little heavier, this is a little thinner here at the top. And I have some of this Post-it note removable tape. And I am just going to, it wouldn't have to be exact because your lines aren't going to be perfectly straight across there. I am going to take this. Normally, I don't like to run a piece of paper through the embossing machine more than one time because I feel like it could leave it kind of speckly or whatever. but I want these to pretty closely line up with one another, so I am going to do that today. And I know my plates are a mess, but I am working on a project of 150 cards. It has a lot of die cutting, and I'm not going to change it till I'm finished with that. We are just going to make our sandwich on our Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, and we are going to feed this through. And I could have backed it back out too, and then this definitely wouldn't have, this paper wouldn't go through more than one time. I'm just going to bring this over here. I feel it'll show on the video a little bit better. But we are just going to remove these. Now we can deal with this one in a little bit. But we do need to pop that out. I will use my take your pick tool. And isn't that cute? But I want this to, you know, be about the same. Like I say, it doesn't have to be exact. And I'll run that through. We can just pop this one out too. And I can even save this for another card. Now it's just a matter of putting our card together. So I have a thick basic white card base, and this is a landscape card. Let's give this a good crease. You want to use if you're using a white card base, you want to use the thick basic white. It is stronger for card bases. The other one is thinner, and it is milled differently for stamping. That's its primary focus. We are going to start by, I have an embossed piece that I emboss first, and then I cut it down to 4 by 5 1/4 of basic white, and I embossed it with the So Swirly embossing folder. And you want to use liquid glue. It's really the best when you're putting an emboss layer down. And I'm kind of running. Let me grab another glue bottle. Sorry about that, but I have been going through a ton of glue lately. Now I'm being generous with this because when you are doing an embossed layer, you do want it to get in all those little nooks and crannies. Thought I had it straight, and definitely not. Let's see how this looks. Kind of distorts your view with all that swirl in there, but I thought it kind of looked a little bit like spider webs, and so that's why I chose it for this card. There, so we have all of that and have that glue kind of spread in there so it's adhering well. Now I've also already done some heat embossing on black with the white Wow embossing folder. And I probably should have done this first, but I failed to do this first, but we're going to make it work. It will be just fine. We have two options. This one, I put it on this layer here before I glued it down, and I forgot that. So I can either just run my scissors right up here and cut that, or we could just extend it clear to here. Either one will work. Whatever makes you happy works for me. And I am going to just, I'm not going to go clear out to the edge because I left it, I did it a little longer because it's always easier just to give yourself some room to put it on your card. And you can just kind of guess, it's pretty close to the bottom. Yeah, I like that. Let me just hold it to my eye here a minute and make sure that I like the way it is. Now granted, I should have done this before I put it down, but I'm not afraid. Our snips, I wish we still had them. But if you have a nice sharp pair of scissors, you can just go in and snip at that. That side, and then we'll just do this one. In a perfect world, it goes right the first time, but that's probably not the case. I mean, it's very easy if you do it before you glue this down. So here you go, here for the candy. And then we have our letters. And you just kind of want to figure out how you want them spaced on there. But before we glue these down, I added just a little touch. As you can see on here, I did some stitching around the letters. If that's not your jam, you don't need to do it. These are Stampin' Up journaling pens. And I just got it. These are the first project I've used it on, actually. And just a little bit off the edge. And you can do it however you hold the paper, how it works best for you, your line of sight. And just do short little strokes. Nothing has to be exact. It just adds a little detail, and it brings the black that we're using on the other elements onto this one. And that's what I like about it. Like I say, just always move it so it's comfortable for your hand. If you're trying to force these little dashes, that's when they're going to start and look weird. So there's that one. And we're just going to continue on with the other two. Okay, there we have our little letter friends. And I'm going to grab some dimensionals here. Now just play with how you want those positioned. And I'm going to tell you also I should have just had you do all of this before we adhered this down. You can tell I'm a little rusty at doing my videos. But it's all going to work. It's fine. And I think I am even going to, I could have just pulled in a mini, but I'm going to cut this one in half. Just that top is a little bit thinner. So I'll do the half and all this lint from the black paper is kind of getting all those dimensionals. Now you can use the black dimensionals. I was just out of them. And again, because this is embossed, I am just going to put a little additional glue. And because it is still humid in a lot of parts of the country, depending on where if you're going to pop this in the mail, or depending on where you live, you know, you just don't want these popping off after you've done the work for it. So I am going to put the dimensionals on these and we'll be right back. Okay, so now we have all of our letters on. And the reason I said I should have had you put that on first was I forgot about this little string we need to have. And this is just a piece of our white or our black twine, and it comes in a package with white and different other colors. I cut out a little spider. And I'm going to take one of our glue dots And I'll probably have to smush it up a little bit because that spider's pretty narrow. And we'll put that on there. Stick my finger to it. And then we'll just lay that twine and as far down as we can go down into there and push it down into that glue dot and even wrap that glue dot up around the top of it. I think that's good. You just wouldn't want it hanging off because it would be shiny. And then we're just going to put it here at a little bit of an angle on our O. And I might even, now that it's on there, I might see about if I can squeeze another one in under there just to make sure it's nicely adhered at both the bottom and the top. And they're very sticky. You just kind of have to pull and work with them. Might have to twist your spider around a little bit. Push things back in. Do a little surgery. It's fine. And then I don't need all of this. I want a little bit to go down under. So I'm just going to snip that off. And I think that I have a little bit of looseness, a little bit of loose at the top on that edge. Although I have my bow tied pretty tight on my glue dots. They were coming all undone on me, so I tied them pretty tight. Maybe a little too tight. And then I'm just going to kind of, and I may have to loosen it a little bit. It's fine. And it's loose. It's just, I've got to get it to where I can pull it a little bit. But we're just going to take this glue dot and poke it down. If you do it before you adhere it like I did here on the video, I did it the correct way, the first time. I just got excited. But you just push it on down in there. And that glue dot, you get it all in there and happy. Get that all sandwiched in and it's good to go. So I thought it was really a fun card. I thought it was something a little bit unusual. I think it would work for an adult or a child that you wanted to send a card to. And I forgot to show you as well, I have several little tags that I use just by cutting out those things too. And some I die cut, some I just did straight. It's all fun. I just thought that those were a little bit fun things to tie on a couple gifts, the little gift bags of candy that I was going to hand out. I have a little gift for my grandson. I'll put one on there. So just a lot of fun little fun things. I have so many examples for you today that I just can't even fit them all on the screen, but I will have photographs on my blog and I'll have that in the description box below here on YouTube. And so I just thank you for joining me. I hope that you have a fun Halloween, get to do something, make memories with somebody that you love. As always, remember to be kind, send a card, and do something creative. Bye-bye.